3, 2, 1. Adelante! Suerte!
Hi guys, and welcome to the teams recap video. This is going to be the last out of the lot. So we've done individual, we've done pairs, and this is going to be teams. So this one is in a way the trickiest to kind of recap because, you know, you've got 4 puzzles to choose from. Then you have to do 2 puzzles in the same time frame. So it's actually, there is so many statistics that it would be absolutely too much to go through all of them. So basically I just did them by groups, and I hope that's going to be okay. If you want to see statistics by each individual puzzle, you can go to their website, and when you go to teams, you can just click on the picture of the puzzle and it's going to show you by individual puzzles. But what I did is I just basically went by, you know, teams. So I didn't go into too much detail, and I'm gonna link everything in the description box below so you don't have to worry about that. Again, this video is gonna be divided, but this time only preliminary round and then the finals because there was nothing else in between. So let's just start with preliminary rounds. So for anyone who doesn't know how the competition works, is in preliminary round you get 4 puzzles to choose from, and then you pick 2 puzzles that you're going to be puzzling. So this is a really important step because last year, I don't know if you know, but we really messed it up. We picked one of the most difficult puzzles, and it was so difficult that we couldn't even manage the second puzzle within 3 hours because the first one took so long. But we weren't the only ones, luckily, which means that we still qualified to the finals. But then in the finals, you don't have a choice, you only get 2 puzzles. So it's really important to know what is difficult and what is easy. So the reason why I'm saying that, and I think that's also one of the things where I try to predict how long it's gonna take me to finish a puzzle before I even do the puzzle, is if I learn what a difficult puzzle looks like, it's gonna be easier to choose, you know, teams puzzles as well. And this year we actually did, you know, a great pick, and we were really proud of that because, you know, that didn't happen last year. So we kind of had like an agreement there. Whatever we want to choose, we're just gonna see like the top 10 teams, what they pick, and then just pick whatever they pick because they probably know better than us. But this year we didn't even look around, we just decided to pick, and we did an amazing pick. So I'm not gonna mix all the puzzles together because that would be too much. So I'm gonna go by groups, and I would definitely say that you could see the difference in the, you know, how difficult the puzzles were. So I would definitely say that group A had it the worst. Like when I saw those puzzles, I was like, are you kidding me? So then group B, you know, still not great, and then group C, which was our group, I think we had the best puzzles, definitely. But I think what I did, because group A was, I think, the last one, I don't know how it was arranged, I think it was the last one in the evening on a specific day, and then groups B and C were the next day, and obviously group C had just a short break before doing new puzzling, so I think they arranged it in a way so it wouldn't be too bad for, you know, us. I think that would make sense. That's how I'm explaining it to myself. So yeah, I'm gonna give you all the puzzles from group A, and I'm just gonna, because there is no order really, so I'm gonna give them to you based on how difficult they were. So the first puzzle from group A is called Queen's Garden, Sudeley Castle, England. In all honesty, I was surprised that this puzzle was the fastest because it's just so great. But to be fair, when you see the other puzzles, I mean, it does make sense, but yeah, I'm really happy that I wasn't in group A because it just looked like a nightmare, I'm not gonna lie. The second puzzle from group A is called the Huntington Desert Garden, California. So as you can see, we are sensing a pattern here, there's a lot of green. So my initial thought would be definitely do not pick this puzzle, but then again, it's like the second one on the list. And this is, oh yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, because I've done the same for individual and pairs recap videos. So I basically stole statistics from Donna Louise. So she arranged the puzzles based on the fastest finishing time, which kind of gives you an estimate of how difficult the puzzle is. So yeah, this is supposedly the second one out of the 4. So you can only imagine what the other 2 look like. I mean, honestly, like, when I saw those puzzles, I was like, I was genuinely worried what we are gonna get. The third puzzle from group A is called The Cow with the Flowery Headdress. You see, this is the puzzle I would immediately go to because it seems like it's got sections you can divide. But based on the fastest time is actually not one of the easiest puzzles. So it just goes to show that I know nothing. No, but what I wanted to say is it was really dark, you know, and even though they had good daylight, no, they didn't have good daylight because they were the only team puzzling in the evening. So yeah, it's dark. You do not want a dark puzzle, especially if you don't have daylight. So I think it was just, I think probably a lot of people who did it regretted picking it. I would assume when we watched the live stream, it just looked like everyone's got black pieces on the board. So yeah, definitely not the easiest one, I'm not gonna lie. And the last puzzle from group A is called Burg Hohenzollern. This was so difficult to pronounce, I'm absolutely sorry if I completely butchered the word. But anyway, you see, this is also another puzzle that I would go for. Because I don't know, it just seems like at least it's got a section, you've got the sky, you've got the bottom, I don't know, you can divide it, you've got, you know, the castle. But by the looks of things, yeah, not the great puzzle. So, you know, I'm glad I wasn't in group A because I don't think I would have picked well. I don't know, just seeing the colors, different colors, makes me immediately drawn to the picture more because I think like, okay, you can at least divide it a little bit. But it goes to show that it's apparently better to pick like a fully green puzzle because it's got more details, I guess, and it's brighter. I don't know, but I'm really glad I wasn't in that group. So there was 98 teams in group A and only 22 teams finished within 3 hours, which gives it 22.4% completion rate. And the fastest time had a team called Spaghetti from Italy with 1 hour 43 minutes and 45 seconds. Oh my god, I absolutely love that name, Spaghetti. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but anyway, let's move on to group B, which I mentioned before is got a little bit better puzzles, but still not really something that I would like to see at the competition. So the first puzzle from group B is called the Magical Forest. Okay, one thing to note about this puzzle, apparently it's the easiest one based on the time, but I wouldn't have picked it because again, it looks really dark to me. I don't know, and it's just so busy, everything is everywhere, which is definitely not my cup of tea. But for some reason, it ended up being the easiest one, which you can only imagine what the other puzzles look like. The second puzzle in group B is called the Vampire Castle. So this is one of the puzzles that I would immediately go for. And I think the reason for that is because I did the exact same puzzle, well, picture, as an exit puzzle with 759 pieces, I think it is. And I actually really liked it. But I think the exit puzzles are even more difficult because, you know, the frame has to fit in on multiple places. So if you've done exit puzzles before, you know what I'm talking about. So in that sense, I assume that this would be easier. I know it's 1,000 pieces, but then again, there's 4 people doing it. And based on the time, it did end up being the second puzzle out of the 4. So I think I would make a good pick there. So yay. 1 out of, what, 6 puzzles now that I would have a good pick. Wow, I'm doing so bad. The third puzzle in group B is called Parco Villa Pallavicino, Stresa, Italy. So this is the puzzle that I would have picked because it just seems like it's got specific sections and it's quite light as well, which definitely is something that will attract me to puzzle. But time-wise, it seems like it was on the harder side of these group's puzzles, but only by a few seconds. So I think I would kind of put it equal to the Vampire's Castle. It was like not even a minute difference. And the last puzzle from group B is called Botanical Garden, Madeira. At a first glance, it doesn't actually look that much different to the previous puzzle that I've shown you because, you know, you've got the skies, you've got the gardens, it's not that much, you've got a bit of color everywhere. But really, at a closer look, you can see that the second one, well, this puzzle, has a lot more green than the other one. And I think this is what made the entire difference because there's almost like a 10-minute difference between the 2 puzzles fastest time, which I think goes to show that there was not much sorting that could be done. In group B, there was 100 teams and 43 finished within 3 hours, which gives us 43% completion rate. So the fastest time in group B had a team called Some Assembly Required with 1 hour 40 minutes and 19 seconds. So as you can see, the puzzles from group B weren't the best. It's just like, oh, yeah. So after seeing that, you can still imagine how I wasn't looking forward to seeing our puzzles. So even on the fastest time, you can see that the second round definitely had it a bit easier. I mean, there was 3 minutes difference, which is not that much, but still, I mean, yeah, there was quite a bit of a difference with the puzzles. So then when we got Group C, okay, the puzzles I'm gonna be talking about now. So obviously they're gonna put all the puzzles on the table before, you know, you manage to go in and decide what you wanna do. So you can see the small images on the side. So obviously we would Google all the puzzles so we could see the full images, and based on that decide which puzzles we want to assemble. So even before we went in, we kind of knew what we want to, like, one puzzle was sure, and this was that one, because it's just the easiest. I was like, there is no way we are not doing this one. And then there were 2 other puzzles that we weren't 100% sure which one we want to do, but there was one puzzle that immediately we knew we don't want to do. So we only had to choose between 2, and then once we got in and we had time, you get like, I don't know, 2 minutes to decide which puzzles you want to do and which ones you don't. And then when we actually had the box in front of us, that's when we made the decision, because we saw the comparison with the pictures. And yeah, like I said, we basically picked an amazing puzzles to puzzle. Now let me show you the puzzles in Group C. So the first puzzle from Group C is called Volkswagen T1 Camper van. So this is the only puzzle that I got, you know, from the team's puzzles. As you see, I've got nothing else. And I absolutely loved this puzzle. To be fair, I only did the sky really and a bit of the bottom, but it's just one of the pictures where it's really easy to divide, especially when you're working it as a team. You can just say, okay, we are gonna do the top part, you can do the bottom part. Someone did the van, someone did the ground. I don't know what the other people were doing, to be completely honest with you. But I absolutely loved putting this puzzle together. I think we had a great technique as well, because when you're puzzling in teams, I think it's really important that you kind of divide what everyone's going to be doing, because the last thing you want is having 8 hands on the puzzle in the same area. So you kind of want to divide and delegate what everyone's going to be doing, just to make it more efficient and less crowded. So definitely when I saw the puzzles that we are getting, I was so happy, because based on Group A and B, you know, I was expecting a lot worse, so that's all I'm gonna say. I absolutely enjoyed puzzling. Our time for this puzzle was 52 minutes and 17 seconds, which placed us 17th. So the second puzzle in Group C is called I Am New York. So as you can see, based on the fastest times, these 2 puzzles, one had 34 minutes, one had 35 minutes. That tells you everything. And those are the 2 puzzles that we picked. So I absolutely loved puzzling this one again. I ended up doing the sky again. So really the only thing I did was just put the sky together. So I didn't really get to know the image well, because I didn't even see it. But the sky, I can say that it had quite a good gradient in it. There was a bit of texture as well, which helped. But it was a big sky. So I did need some help at some point, because it was just a bit much, you know, but I absolutely love puzzling. Like I mentioned, it's very important that you delegate work, and you know, so everyone's working on their own section. And again, I have no idea what all of them were doing. I just know what my part was, and that was the sky. So I was quite happy with that. Our time for this puzzle was 56 minutes and 35 seconds, which placed us 12th. The third puzzle in Group C was called Gdansk, Poland. So this is the puzzle that we wanted to pick, and the fastest time on this puzzle was 1 hour and 7 minutes. So, you know, so there are multiple questions that we can ask ourselves. Is that because all the fastest teams have, you know, taken the easy puzzles, or is that because the puzzle is actually that difficult? I think it's a mix of both. You know, because I'm sure that if we only had 2 choices and this puzzle was one of them, the fastest time would probably be a bit lower. But regardless, 1 hour and 6 minutes, the fastest time. I mean, that's like half an hour difference from the other 2 puzzles. So you can, you know, imagine how proud we were when we actually picked the right puzzles. And also we got really good placement because of that. But I'm not going to talk about that just yet, because we still have 1 puzzle to cover. So the 4th puzzle in Group C is called Monschau in der Eifel. So there was only 4 teams doing this puzzle and only 1 team finished. So yeah, it definitely wasn't a great puzzle to pick, I'm not gonna lie. So that was the one that immediately I was like, there is no way. It's basically just 2 colors, it's black and white, and that's it. And all the lines with the house and everything, it's just like, you can't sort, you can't do anything, and it's 1,000 pieces. I'm like, no way. So yeah, I definitely would say that we had the best puzzle choice, and I think this shows with statistics as well. Group C was the easiest, then Group B, and then Group A based on the fastest times. So yeah, I was definitely really happy that we ended up in Group C. So our time in Group C was 1 hour 48 minutes and 52 seconds for both puzzles, and we were 13th to qualify out of 102 people, which I think is insane. And then the fastest time had a team called Czech Puzzle Queens with 1 hour 10 minutes and 16 seconds. Okay, time to move on to the finals now, because there was no semi-finals in teams competition. And you know, like I mentioned before, you get 2 puzzles, so you have nothing to choose from. They're all hidden, so you cannot see the image in advance. And also they're unreleased puzzles, so it's not like you can Google them. So yeah, we got to our table, and to be honest, it took us forever to decide which puzzle we want to do first, because obviously they start the time and there's like, okay, open the bag, and we're like, which one are we gonna do? Which one are we gonna do? And we couldn't decide. And then I think it was Stein, he was just like, just pick one, we're gonna have to do both anyway. Okay, so we picked the first puzzle, so I'm just gonna go in order the way we've done it. So the first puzzle we did was called Canal Cruise in Venice. This is definitely a puzzle that I would enjoy and pick for myself, but only if it was a bit lighter. Overall, it seems a bit dark to me. And also there is a thing when you get 2 puzzles, it's like, which one do you want to choose? Do you want to go the difficult one first, or do you want to go the easy one first? Because, you know, do you want to bring your morale up, or in case you can't finish both puzzles within 3 hours, it's good to do the easier one first and then leave the hard one for the end. But luckily we managed to finish both puzzles within 3 hours, but you know, that's not relevant right now. I keep losing track of thoughts. Anyway, I love this puzzle. I always puzzle upside down. It's just one thing that I got used to since last year. So every time we do pairs or teams, I always puzzle upside down. So again, you can imagine there, I ended up doing majority of the sky and whatever was at the top. But I think there was quite a lot of clay details in this puzzle, which were really helpful when looking for the pieces. And Donna Louise, as always, did an amazing job with sorting those pieces out as well. So a lot of the times I would just be like, oh, I need those pieces, and they were just given to me. And I'm like, oh, I need those pieces. So yeah, I absolutely loved puzzling in teams. I think it's just so good. I just get to do the fun part. I know it sounds really bad, but you know, sorting is not really the most enjoyable part of puzzling, and you can just assemble the puzzle. And the good thing about it is, because I don't rely on the picture, I would just assemble things, give it to Donna Louise, and she would find where it has to go. So I think we had the best teams dynamic. I absolutely loved it. Our time for this puzzle was 1 hour, 1 minute and 3 seconds, which placed us 67th. And the puzzle we did the second was called Magical Rainforest. So this is definitely one of the puzzles that is too busy for me, but really, when you got into it, it was actually a lot easier than I expected, because there was difference in the shading of the color, there was difference in the texture, there was, you know, there was so many things that you can go from. Yeah, it's true, there was a lot of green and a lot of background pieces, but really, if you assemble the animals first, it wasn't too bad to finish the rest. So this was also another puzzle that I could just work from my lab and then just give pieces to Donna Louise, and she would just slide them in wherever they have to go. So I absolutely enjoyed puzzling. Like this year, I had so much fun puzzling teams, like everything. Honestly, I don't know how to explain to you, but last year, because it was my first time, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't really know many people, and there was quite a lot of stress. I don't think people realize how much pressure there is, but majority of the time, we put it on ourselves. It's not like people around us pressure us. It's like we put the pressure on ourselves, you know, because you kind of want to do good, and you know, if you made all this way, you kind of want to puzzle as much as you can, so you want to get into semi-finals and finals. So yeah, it's tricky. You kind of have to find like a perfect middle between how competitive and how fun it can be, you know. So it's still, you don't want it to just be fun and be like, oh, I don't really care, and you don't want to be so competitive that all the fun is sucked out of it. So yeah, I absolutely love it. Sorry, I'm already missing it. It's like recording the recap and I'm already waiting for the year to go around so I can go again. So our total time for both puzzles was 2 hours, 1 minute and 8 seconds, which placed us 65th. And the fastest time with this puzzle had a team called Busy Birdies, and they had 1 hour, 16 minutes and 7 seconds. And they became the new World Jigsaw Puzzle Teams Champions of 2024. So this brought us to the end of the recap videos, but there is still one thing that I told you I'm gonna show you. So this is the puzzle. So if you know what this is, then you probably signed the piece. But there's a puzzle that I bought specifically for the competition to get the signatures. So what I'm gonna do now is just clear the table, assemble the puzzle, and then I'm gonna show you the back so you can find your own piece. I have to say that it was a bit more difficult to get all the signatures than I expected it to be. I was very busy, so it was difficult to keep taking the bags out and, you know, trying not to lose any of the pieces. I basically got the majority of them, I think, on the last day, on like the closing ceremony, because people were just there. No one needed to puzzle, nothing. So I was just going around, and everyone that I've met throughout the competition, I went to ask to sign the pieces. So I'm really happy to say that I managed to get all the pieces signed. And what I've really liked about it is some people picked their favorite shapes and use those pieces. Some people try to find Minion's eyes and sign them. A lot of people wanted to do the edge pieces so it would be easier for them to find their signature. So I absolutely loved giving the pieces out. And I wasn't actually the only one who was giving the pieces out for people to sign. So this was really cute. She said she got the idea from me, so oh, that warmed my heart. So thank you everyone who signed my pieces. Now it's time to see if you can actually find yours. So let's leave the puzzle up. And I know some of them are gonna be... Is that upside down? Oh no, it was right. Oh, okay. I couldn't see. I don't have my glasses on. But I hope you managed to see. I'm gonna give you a close-up, so don't worry. But one thing I've learned is definitely bring colored pens for next year, because there was actually a guy who had colored pens. So when I was at the table, 3 people signed with colors, and it's a lot easier because the signatures stand out so much. Luckily enough, at least I had 2 colored pens, because otherwise everything would just look exactly the same. So this puzzle looks absolutely amazing. I love it so much. Thank you everyone who signed the piece. This is gonna go, like, it's not gonna go in frame, but this puzzle is gonna stay with me forever. So I'm gonna disassemble it and just put it together with my memorabilia, because I've got a box for that, so yeah. Anyway, this was so much fun. I hope you enjoyed the videos. If you did, I would really appreciate if you could give me a thumbs up and, you know, subscribe, because you're just gonna help my channel grow. So I hope you enjoyed that. I have one announcement for you guys now. So this weekend, okay, on Sunday, my time zone, so I'm gonna have to calculate what's that gonna be for everyone else. We are doing a special premiere with Donna Louise, and I can't tell you too much what's gonna happen because you have to watch it, you know, but I'm gonna give you a few spoilers. So there are Alejandro and Kyle in the video, and it's gonna be puzzle related. That's all that I'm allowed to tell you. That's what Donna Louise said. She gave me specific rules of what I'm allowed and not allowed to say, so this is all you get. So Alejandro, Kyle, Donna Louise and me, puzzle related, this Sunday. Make sure to come and join us. Okay, so that's gonna be it, and I'll see you in the chat on Sunday. Bye!
You're so loud!
Wait,
How did it get my... doesn't even watch our videos. Why are you on our team?
okay, someone count down 3, 2, 1, go.
3,
3,
2,
2, 1, go!
Okay.